Official welcome, everyone. I am so excited for the Hidden Gems Masterclass. Thank you for being here. We were having a bit of a kiki before we started recording today, and I pulled a very special card that I need to share with you, which is the Strength card. There's a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, a lot of things going on right now with this really powerful Libra eclipse that we just had literally yesterday. And this Strength card, represented by the Black Unicorn, says this challenge will make you stronger. You will get through to the other side. Look for the gifts in the situation. Beautiful, powerful, exactly what we need. So, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to get started with you. There are so many new faces and names, and also some great familiar faces and names. Shout out to Tatiana, Michelle, Maya, Vanessa, and Anna. You're the people that I could see right now. I also see that Lindsay, Francie, Janet, Tanisa, Crystal, Casey. Amazing. So excited to have everyone here. So, if this is your first time in one of my master classes, you are in for a treat. Today is going to be really fun. We're going to talk about finding those hidden gems in your astrology and your human design. This is going to be great. You don't need to know a lot about astrology or human design to get what you need to get out of this masterclass. The value that I want you to take away is in understanding which parts of your design and your astrology you want to dive in first and why, and how they can support you in what you're trying to build in your career or your business or your life. We're going to talk a lot about career and business today, but I mean, these things just relate to everything. They relate to relationships, they relate to life in general, confidence in yourself, all of the things. And part of the reason why I am doing this masterclass right now is because my head is in this headspace as I am launching my Rising Star Business Academy, which I'm going to talk about at the very end. If you're interested in hearing about that, stay to the end. I'm in this headspace of launching that, and it's the bringing together of all of my experience, expertise, my methods, my approaches, my tools in the cosmic systems, using cosmic systems to create a business that leaves you successful and satisfied. And now that I'm in that headspace, when you're doing a launch, you're just like living, breathing, eating it. Like you're just like, yes, this is like everything that I'm doing. It's like your whole world, like everything you see relates to that launch. And it's so much fun. And so I've been really looking back a lot and thinking about my whole career in my business, from being in corporate and then having my baby in the pandemic, leaving my job, creating this business, developing it into Cosmic Queen, into what it is today, supporting my family, all of these like major, like big steps along the way over the last 5 years. And I've been thinking about my biggest challenges. What have been my biggest challenges, as well as those often mirror the biggest challenges of my clients. And those are the sticky things, right? Those are the things that I want to help people with. Those are the things that I know can keep us stuck as we are on the road to our vision, as we are on the road to our ambition, as we're on the road to building what we desire. And so I wanted to create a master class for free that could really support people, whether or not you decide to join the program. Of course, would love to have you in, but will support people to start mining that treasure within themselves. Because one of the biggest challenges that I had, and that many of my clients have, is understanding what it is about them that is the secret sauce. What it is about them that is the zone of genius, the secret sauce, the hidden gems, the magic, the magnetism. Like we all have great ideas, and great ideas are a dime a dozen, but you are not a dime a dozen. You are one in a million, or in however many trillion are in the world, right? And so there's something about your idea plus your magic that can really become something powerful, something that can change your life, something that can support others, something that can create a sustainable, wealth of time, of joy, of fulfillment, of money for you. So I want to help you figure out what that is. Early on in my entrepreneurship career, I read the book The Big Leap. One of my clients actually mentioned it today in Voxer. We're doing a Voxer date together, and we have a call later today. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, have you read the book The Big Leap?" I'm like, "Yes, girl. Like, I know what zone of genius is, right?" So Gay Hendricks in the 80s coined this term, the zone of genius. And I use that term because it's something that people who don't know anything about astrology and human design know. And so I can relate it to astrology and human design as well. But your zone of genius is the thing that you do that you're really good at and you love. That's the sweet spot when it comes to career and work and purpose and life fulfillment, right? Oh my gosh, Anna said she just read The Big Leap. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that. Love that. Synchronicity. So yeah, it's a great book, short read. I highly recommend. Get it on Audible. It's really short and it's inspiring. And Gay Hendricks talks about, the different zones. There's multiple zones. I don't remember exactly how many, but I remember very clearly there's incompetence, competence, excellence, and genius. I think I missed one in there, but when a lot of people are operating in incompetence or maybe competence, competence, excellence, but not necessarily genius. And genius is that place where talent and capability meets passion and joy. And that's what we're talking about today. We're not just talking about what are my skills, what am I good at? We're talking about what am I good at that I love. And that's what we want to get to. So I'm really excited to dive into the content. I'm really excited to hear from you all on what you're working on. And, I'll ask you to share in the chat at different points if you feel comfortable so that I can also riff on some of your design and your astrology as well, which is going to be fun. All right, so let me share my screen. Here we are. A seamless transition. Love it. Okay, so here we are. Hidden gems, mining the treasure within yourself. That is what we were talking about today. I like to call this the cosmic cutting edge. Can you be successful without knowing anything at all about your astrology and human design? Absolutely. But your astrology and human design are still working behind the scenes. And a lot of times, what happens because there are so many different strategies and there are so many different ways of working, and there are so many different, approaches to work, career, business, purpose, all these things. It can be very overwhelming to figure out, well, what's going to work for me. And instead of throwing paint at the wall, I want you to understand yourself at a deeper level so that you can save yourself valuable time and energy. That's why I call this the cosmic cutting edge. It's working smarter, not harder. So today we're going to talk about the gems, and then we're also going to talk about why the gems are. So there's a formula that I discovered early on in my business when I was coming up with like, what are the pillars of my business? What is my mission? What do I stand for? What are my values? Like all of this is incredibly important for you to come up with and to resonate with deeply in your business. But I have this phrase that I say, which is I help people to know, love, and be themselves. And I say it that way. It's not just a nice thing to say. It means a lot to me. And I want to just share this really quickly because it has to happen in this order. And I absolutely believe that this is something that most of us are not doing, especially when it comes to business. We are not doing all three of these things, and we are definitely not doing them in this order. So, know yourself. Know yourself is where the astrology and the human design really come in. It's number one, the know yourself. A lot of times we want to jump straight to love and be, right? Because that's what all the affirmations say, and that's what, all the mindset work says is just love yourself, man. Like just love yourself. And then just be yourself as if that's like somehow a very easy thing. It was funny. I was once on a panel with a famous astrologer who's one of my absolute favorites. And he said, I don't understand why people are always saying to be yourself. Like, aren't you just yourself? Like, don't you just do that naturally? And I thought to myself, dude, no. No, like the privilege of a white man. But no, 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 absolutely not. We aren't just ourselves. There is a whole heap of conditioning that comes in that tells us, right, with society and culture, like this is how you're supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to talk. This is how you're supposed to move. This is how you're supposed to dress. This is how you're supposed to do a master class. This is how you're supposed to run a business, right? This is how you're supposed to do a launch. I mean, there's so much. This is how you're supposed to perform your gender. Like there is so much of the world that is telling us how to be. And so, no, it's not simple to just be yourself. I wish it was. I wish it was. But I think that sometimes if you try to skip to step three without doing step one, you're doing yourself a disservice because which version of yourself are you trying to be? Right. And here's where we get to the hidden gems. It's in knowing yourself. Once you know yourself, then you can love yourself. I actually got this formula. Not a lot of people know this. I don't really talk about where I got this from or what inspired me, but it was, I believe, Jane Goodall. I need to look up the exact quote, but was she the one who worked with apes, I think, in the jungle or chimpanzees? I'm not sure exactly, but large primates. And she said something similar. She was like, my job in order to save this species and get people interested in them, because people were not interested before she started doing all of her activism and scientific research work and sharing it through documentaries, right? She said people need to know them and then they can love them and then they can support. But if you don't have the know and the love, the action doesn't happen. And I just remember it was like this like moment of the clashing of like planets inside my brain. I was like, that's it. Yes. So know yourself. We're going to talk about that today. Human design astrology is the incredible path that you can take to knowing yourself. Step one. Okay. So we're going to talk about gems in astrology and gems in human design as well. So, if you are here, how many people, by the way, I would love to know in the chat, if you don't mind, where you found me. If you remember, some of you have been seen me and been in my world for quite a while. But if you're new, I would love to know where you found me, whether it was a summit or maybe a podcast or social media. My guess is that most people came from social media. A live that I did with Colin. Oh my gosh, that's like back in the day. Yes, Colin Bedell of Queer Cosmos. That's amazing, Lindsay. TikTok. Yes, Vanessa. Oh my God, I'm so excited for our call. Michelle, girl, I've been following you for years. Yes, you have. You have. Oh my gosh. I think it was a summit through Instagram. Okay, this is great. This is really, really helpful. It's always great for me to know because sometimes, it's like you never know. Um, if you found me through social media, chances are that you found me talking about the midheaven sign. So we got to start there. Absolutely, right? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's amazing, Casey. Thank you so much. I finally felt that I could handle TikTok. Yes, it's a lot. I was just talking about that today, actually, about we need to like ration ourselves on TikTok. I love it, but it is a lot. And you were one of the first I started following. That's amazing. I love it. At one of the Witches Summits, so good. So, okay, so you probably found me talking about the midheaven sign. This is got to be the number one gem that I share with you today. Of course, there are many, many gems in your chart. Each part of your chart is a gem in itself. But let's talk about the midheaven sign. The reason that I talk about this so much, and I'm so flabbergasted, by the way, that the astrology community does not talk about the midheaven a lot. I don't exactly know why this is. It could be because I specifically focus on career astrology, and there are not a lot of astrologers focusing on career. A lot of astrologers focus on relationships, right? Like when I first got into astrology, what's the first thing I looked up, right? Oh, who should I marry, right? What sign am I compatible with? How many, like raise your hand if that was you too. Like how many of you looked that up? So a lot of people come to astrology for a relationship, but there's this incredible aspect of astrology, which is fantastic for career. So the midheaven sign is the sign at the top of the chart. So you can see it circled here. In this chart I created on astro.com. You can go to any site, but I do highly recommend astro.com. It is kind of 1990s. It's a bit old, but it's very accurate. In fact, Cafe Astrology, the guy who does that website, always recommends people go to astro.com to get their chart, which is interesting. So the midheaven sign is the sign at the top of the chart. It was the sign at the top of the sky at the moment that you were born. And it's the sign that represents fame, your reputation, and what people desire from you. And so when you're thinking about developing or trying to understand and know yourself at a deeper level and know your zone of genius, Yes, you need to understand your midheaven sign. It is, however, for other people. And so it behooves you to like really use your midheaven as your brand because this is what other people see already without you trying. Like this is what they see. You can try to brand yourself with other parts of your chart, but like regardless, people are going to see your midheaven. And the midheaven is what people are truly attracted to. And so that, of course, is what you want to utilize most in your branding. But it also indicates some natural talent that you have. When we talk about zone of genius, it's things that you're naturally good at, this like natural skill that you have. And of course, you're going to develop it and you learn things and get certifications and all that. But there is a natural talent that you have. So in this example here, I have Cancer. By the way, drop into the chat. Please put your midheaven sign. I would love to know like do we have a lot of earth midheavens here, water midheavens? Like just drop if you know the sign of your MC, your midheaven, please drop it in. So in this example here, we have a Cancer midheaven. Cancer, typically people think of Cancer as being like a homebody, like I'm going to be at home, feeding the people, right? Like feeding the family. I'm making a big pot of spaghetti. Like that's like a very kind of like Cancerian stereotype, which we love. But Cancer in the midheaven position is different. That's a leadership position. And so it's much more about being outside the house, working with people who are not your inner circle, not your family. And this is how you lead yourself and lead them in what you are here to do in the world. It's very connected to like your purpose outside the house, your purpose in the public sphere. So Cancer midheaven in my system of archetypes is called the gatherer. The gatherer is the person who gathers people together in community and creates this sense of family, but it's in a more public, elevated way. So, doing things in your, if you have a business, thinking about membership, community building, community relationships, all those kinds of things are going to be very, very much part of your zone of genius, and you might not even realize it. What's really interesting and why this is called the Hidden Gems Masterclass, not the Uncovered Gems or Obvious Gems Masterclass, is because the midheaven is for other people. And so often we don't even see it for ourselves. And this is why I love astrology, is that it helps us gain this awareness, right? So that we can know ourselves. Okay, let's see in the chat. What do we have here? Oh, Cancer. Amazing, Janet. So you have Cancer, Scorpio, Cancer. Oh my gosh, all the water signs. We've got Sag, fire sign, Capricorn, Earth, Taurus, Earth, Scorpio, water. We have Aries, fire. Oop. We have Aquarius, air. Okay, we've got one air so far. We've got Leo, fire, Aquarius, air as well. Amazing, amazing. And Virgo, Earth, and Gemini, air. Okay, so we have literally all of the elements represented, which is amazing. What a great spread. I love it. What a talented group. So what's really important when you're uncovering your hidden gems and thinking, okay, how do I like make them not hidden? How do I bring them out? How do I make them visible to the world? Always work with your mid. I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you a couple of tips based on elements. So if I have something I call the four types within the midheaven. So if you take my midheaven magnetism course, there's a whole module on understanding the four types. So if you're a water sign midheaven, you're a connector. So you need to really focus on like making those relationships and those connections in your work, whatever that is, whatever your career, it doesn't matter what industry, it doesn't matter what role you like, that's your role essentially. That's what you're here to do is to connect to people from a heart centered place. It's a more emotional, more heart-centered kind of approach to work. If you are an air sign midheaven, then you are an innovator. And so you are here to create new solutions and bring new ideas. So put that at the forefront of your work. If you're a fire sign midheaven, we had a lot of fire sign midheavens, a lot of water sign midheavens here. So if you're fire sign midheaven, you're an activator, and that means you are here to literally activate people into action. So whatever you do, it needs to be like this get up and go. If you have a really calming, soothing, relaxing brand, that's not on brand for you. It's not working. You've got to have this like activating energy of like, all right, let's go do this thing. And you're the one who activates people in that way. If you're a water sign midheaven, I talked about that one already. If you what did I miss? Earth sign. So if you're an earth sign midheaven, then you are a stabilizer. You are the soothing, calming, relaxing brand. We need you, especially right now during the eclipse. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we need the soothing, calming, like grounding force that you bring. It doesn't mean that in your work you need to just sit back and like be passive. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you bring a sense of stability and foundation to everything that you do. So even if you're a Capricorn midheaven, which is the pioneer, which is all about being courageous and going into the unknown, you're going to do it in a way where you've got all of your ducks in a row. You've got all of the support that you need, and you are grounded in what you're doing. It's not just like an impulsive thing. It's like you planned this out. And people are ready to follow someone like that if that's what they're looking for, right? Okay, the rising sign. So, the rising sign is another massive gem in your astrology. You really need to be now where you're going to use your rising sign. By the way, feel free to put any questions as I'm going along. If you have any questions about anything into the chat, I will do my best to pick them up. But if you have, so with your rising sign, it is the part of your chart which, from a career perspective, is going to really support you in staying motivated and understanding how you view yourself and what you need to get from your business or get from working in your business in order to stay committed, excited, and motivated. The midheaven is for others, but the rising sign is for you. And so this is a hidden gem because so many times people can be, very motivated, very excited. For some reason, Chapel Roan is coming into my head right now. I know, like, bless her, sending her all of the good vibes for her right now. I know she canceled a couple of shows because of, mental health challenges. And there's been a lot of kind of controversy stirred up from some of her political statements recently, but I'm thinking of her with the rising sign. Like there, I don't actually know what her chart is. If anyone knows her rising sign, shout it out in the chat. But just thinking about like you can be the most incredible artist and you can be the most incredible creative and just like you're on point, you're doing what you love, you're on the stage, like you're killing it. Everyone loves you, like woo, yes. But if you're not being satisfied personally, if you're not like fulfilling your rising sign, it's what's the point? What is the point? And this is where I see a lot of burnout happening. So if you're someone who has felt really uninspired or frustrated in their career, definitely look at your rising sign. Look at the element of your rising sign. So, for example, I'll just go through them really quickly. um, Air sign risings, right? You're going to be someone who needs constant mental stimulation. If everything is the same and you're getting bored, it's not working for you. This is not good. Not good. You can't be bored. You need that mental stimulation. You need friends. You need chat. You need to be talking to people and having communication. This is core to who you are. If you have a fire rising sign, you need excitement, passion, and adventure. If you are stuck in one place, like how we were in the pandemic, and you have a fire rising sign, that is going to be so, so hard for you because you do need, kind of similar to air, you do need that variety and you do need a sense of adventure. And so in your business, think about like, how can I bring out this sense of adventure? Water risings, you need those relationships. You need that deeper meaning for your work, which often comes through relationships or often comes through like the deeper purpose in what you're doing. I'm a Pisces rising, and so I know we have a few Pisces risings here on the call, water sign. And so I need to have the deeper meaning. If I'm just doing something because it makes money, or I'm just doing something because someone told me it was like a good investment or a good strategy, doesn't work. I'm not motivated. It doesn't keep me committed to what I'm doing. But if there's a deeper meaning, like I have the most incredible, deep meaningful conversations with people behind the scenes. I'm working with someone right now who's like one of the top producers in their industry in America. And it's incredible working with her and seeing someone who's just totally at the top of their game. But we talk about like the really deep stuff. We talk about the tough parts of running a team and trusting people with work. We talk about control and workaholism. We talk about how you navigate being in the void when you want to appear perfect to everyone else, right? To me, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going. The deep relationships and the conversations I have with my clients, it's so fulfilling and I will never get bored and never get tired of this. It's so good. Um, Chaperone's ascendant is 22 degrees Libra. Okay, okay. That's really interesting. So Libra, even though it's an air sign, so I talked about, needing social, needing friends, needing mental stimulation. You can have too much of a good thing. 22 degrees is interesting. There's different kind of theories about that one, but you need all of that, but at the same time, what Libra really wants, if we zone in on this sign specifically within the air sign genre, it wants balance and harmony. So right now she's got a lot of people coming at her, telling her their opinions about her, right? Telling her like, no, you're not saying the right things. Like we want you to endorse a political candidate, like all this stuff, right? And she's like, this is not fair. Like this is not right. This is not just, right? So that Libra is getting really frustrated. So you can really see like the rising sign when there's a bit of burnout happening, like the rising needs to be on track, needs to be aligned. What about the decans? Is there added meaning for each third of the sign? Yes. So I don't teach decans in my course, but decans are a really interesting kind of like, I would say more advanced level of astrology to learn. Basically 10, each 10 degrees of a sign is ruled by a different planet in a particular order. So yes, you can absolutely study them. I do think that there is something to them. But I think what's more important, that's like the advanced level, right? Like what's more important is understanding the element and the sign and the need of that element and sign. And then you can go a little bit deeper into understanding the decans. But yeah, great one. So did we go through all the rising signs? Earth sign, Earth rising sign. So if you have an Earth rising sign, then you really need like to have clear goals. If you don't have clear goals and something that you're like achieving or fixing or solving or like bringing a greater sense of like stability and security, then you're not going to be satisfied. So that's the earth sign, earth rising signs. I think I did all of them. Let me know if I forgot one. So stelliums. Okay, so we talked about rising sign. Now, one of the other gems in your astrology is stelliums. Stelliums are so beautiful. I love to look at someone's chart, like this chart here, and you see that, oh my gosh, there's a cluster of planets in a particular sign, or there's a cluster of planets in a particular house. So a stellium, different astrologers have different definitions. I go with the three planets or more. So three planets or three placements, including angles and asteroids and nodes, three placements or more in a sign or in a house is a stellium. So in this chart we're looking at here, we can see we have three planets in Cancer. That's a Cancer stellium. We have three planets or placements in Virgo. That is a Virgo stellium. And then we have three planets or placements in or also in the 12th house, in the third house. So this person has these different themes around Cancer energy, nurturing, community driven, loyal, around Virgo, which is the practical problem solver, the fixer, 12th house, which is healing subconscious things, and the third house, which is all about self-expression. So by just understanding this a little bit about your stelliums, you can also start to see where some of your gems are that you can start to bring out in your work. So if I see someone with a Cancer stellium, I'm like, so how's your relationship with your community? Are you fostering it? Are you engaging? Do you have platforms where people can talk to you? Do you have the ability to get close to people? Like, what does that look like for you in your business? And then the last one I want to bring in here for astrology is the Jupiter sign and house. So the Jupiter. Can a stellium include the midheaven? Yes, yes. I include angles. Not everyone does, but in my study of astrology, it is mind-blowing how important the angles are. And when I say angles, I mean rising and the descendant, and then the IC and the MC, the midheaven. So those four angles are just cornerstones of the entire chart. They really showcase your life themes. Like if you're writing a memoir about yourself, it's going to be the themes or the angles. So yes, I would say that a stellium can include the midheaven. Yes. Ooh, Scorpio stellium. I love it. All about power, baby. Okay, Jupiter sign and house. So look at your Jupiter. And by the way, if you're not aware, so this is Jupiter. If you can see my little arrow here, this is Jupiter and Gemini. So look at Jupiter, the sign that Jupiter is in, and the house that it's in. I did a little bit of a series on this on TikTok. Jupiter is, you don't want to sleep on Jupiter. Jupiter gives you this insight, which I think is helpful, especially for people who are in a service-based business. Like you gotta look at Jupiter. If you're in a products-based business, yeah, sure, as well. But I think service-based for sure, because Jupiter is all about like bringing things to the people. It's all about being a leader. Like Jupiter is the planet of leadership. It's also the planet of generosity. So like, being the person who's like, very kind of gregarious. It was like, yes, I have so much to give, I have so much to say. Jupiter is also the teacher planet. And so if you're thinking about, okay, I want to do courses or I want to teach people something, or I think that I have something to teach or something to share, then Jupiter is also really core for that. So definitely, and Jupiter is incredibly important in human design and in the gene keys as well. So it's not just astrology, it's everywhere. Jupiter is it. Jupiter is it. Jupiter and Leo in the 11th. Retrograde. Don't worry if you have Jupiter retrograde. It's not as impactful as one of the personal planets being retrograde. So the ones you want to look for in your chart being retrograde, somebody asked me this question the other day, are Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Those are the ones that we really kind of pay attention to if they're retrograde. The other ones, not so much because they go retrograde every single year, all the time. It's not as big a deal. Yes. Okay. So yes, put in the chat where your Jupiter is. So the house that Jupiter is in is also going to indicate the area of life where you naturally want to be a leader or where you naturally, oops, are a leader. Thank you, Norton. I don't know if you can see that. Where you can naturally be a leader and where you naturally may have this like generous leadership and teacher energy. People are larger than life where their Jupiter is. So if you're wanting to bring your hidden gems out and make them visible, play with your Jupiter. Just play with it. It's so fun. Okay, let's go through the chat a little bit. So we have Jupiter in Leo in the 11th. So Jupiter in Leo is someone who, from a leadership standpoint, you're going to be very like fiery, exciting. You're an activator. Think of it that way. I'll probably, for sake of time, I won't necessarily go through all of the signs. I think I'm going to do the houses instead. So Jupiter in the 11th is going to be someone who is a leader of community and network. So kind of similar to what I was saying about Cancer energy as a midheaven, you really need to go for it when it comes to leading and creating community. That's what you're here for. That's one of your talents. If you've got Jupiter in the fourth house, that's really being a leader at home and with family. So that may be a very natural thing or something that you feel like really drawn to do and drawn to being seen and visible for your work in that space, basically with home and family. Fifth house, that would be with playfulness and pleasure and creativity. So there's this like a very artist vibe, like maybe you have this desire to be known for your art or to teach people how to play, how to lighten up a little bit, how to have a good time. 12th house, healing and spirituality. So you may be someone who's drawn to working with the spiritual arts. Oh, and it's Scorpio as well. Yeah. So definitely. So there's something here. I mean, you're definitely a healer, maybe a witch if you identify with that, but definitely a healer, someone who is here to really support and really get under the surface and help with what's deep, deep, deep down that needs to come up to be healed. House two, that is someone who's a leader with money or specifically with how we value things. That's a big one. So it could be around, what we value materially, how we approach it, how we think about it. That's definitely key. Fifth house, I talked about that one. First house, I have Jupiter in Pisces in the first house as well, because you're my twin, Michelle. So this would be identity. So you can be a leader or you can teach people about identity. Third house, self-expression. Second house, money. We talked about that. I think you said third house, which is self-expression. Yes. Okay. Sixth house, lifestyle and health. This is your area. Any other ones we haven't? No. Okay. Yes. Healer, witch, secret identity. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So those are the gems in your astrology. That's where these are the places where you want to start. There's so much to learn about astrology, right? I mean, look at it, the chart. There's so much, right? There's aspects, angles, asteroids, like all of these things, all of these planets. But these are the places to start when you are really getting into the depth of who you are and how you can bring that out to the front, how you can bring that out to your clients and in your work in the world. Okay, now we're going to go and talk about human design. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. So I like to talk about astrology as being about talents and personality and areas of life. But then when we get to human design, we're looking at, okay, what's the strategy of how I'm going to use that? What's the way that I'm going to employ my personality, my gifts, and kind of put that into action? I call human design astrology in motion. For those of you who might not be so familiar, please let me know in the chat. Are you like new to human design, intermediate or advanced? I would love to know in the chat. How much do you know about human design? So human design is an incredible system that includes other systems that you will be familiar with. So it includes astrology. You can see if you recognize, the symbols here, right? These are all the planets. So it includes astrology, includes the Hindu chakra system. It includes the Chinese I Ching, and it includes the Kabbalah tree of life. All of those systems combined into one powerful way of understanding how our energy moves and how our energy interacts with each other. It is amazing. All right, new to human design, new, oh, new, yeah, look at all the newbies. Love it, love it, love it. Intermediate to advanced, intermediate, QHD, a specialist, amazing quantum human design. That's Karen Curry Parker. Love her, intermediate level. Specialist, yes, Susanna, yes, you are. Still very new, but generally getting into it. Probably advanced. Yeah, I think so. Human design coach. Ah, great. We have such a variety. Okay. So here's where you want to start with human design, specifically applying it to business. It's one thing just learning about human design and learning about yourself, which, yes, that's what we're here to do, to know ourselves. But it's another to then take that knowledge and then apply it to action, to what you're doing, right? So, aura type, let's start with that. So, this is the first thing you need to learn. Absolutely. And let me say that for us advanced people out there as well, I've studied human design for years. I've done so many different programs. My teacher, if you're interested in my lineage, it's Jess Fields is the teacher that I've learned the most from, but I've studied with others as well. But human design is such a deep, complex, and beautiful system. And we can get a little bit lost in the complexity. Sometimes we can go down to, tone and color and like we woof, like we really get in there. And it's beautiful. And I love doing that. And if we're not doing our type strategy, it doesn't matter how much we know about the system. And so we keep coming back to aura type. I just did a podcast that I dropped yesterday, which I highly recommend everyone to go and listen to, it's a short listen. It's only like 22 minutes, and it's about career traps that people fall into by human design type, because aura type is such an indicator of who we are. It's such an indicator of how we move and what's going to make us successful in the world, successful in relationships, successful in anything that we're trying to do. So we have 4 aura types, but then I like to say we have 5 types because I do recognize manifesting generator as a 5th hybrid type. So when I'm going to go through them really quickly for you. So we have projectors. Projectors are here to be the advisors and the guides. Their aura type is called penetrating, and it's all about like seeing deeply into a person or into a situation and understanding how to get it back on track or where it needs to go next. Their gift, their hidden gem, is their perspective. They have a really powerful perspective on things. And when you're in dire need, maybe you've just experienced an eclipse and maybe you need some clarity or you're not quite sure what the right solution is for you or like which step you need to take. Find a projector, find a projector who knows, who's very in touch with this gift, who's very in touch with their inner perspective. It is a powerful thing when it is invited. And if you are a projector, then absolutely like tap into this gift. Drop in the chat if you would like to, like, what is your human design type? Are you a projector, a manifestor, a manifesting generator, a generator, or a reflector? I would love to know. Amazing. Drama queen here. Yes, Michelle, you listen to the podcast. Me too. Me too. Okay, so I see we have some projectors, amazing generators, MGs, manifestors. Oh my God, we got them almost all. Do we have any reflectors? Let me know. I know I have reflectors in my community. Chart says generator. I love it. MG. Okay, fabulous. So, so if you're a projector, yes, one of your gems is your perspective. And so you want to take any opportunity that you can to share your perspective. We need to hear it to know that you're the one for us, that you've got the wisdom, you've got that amazing, like magical perspective that we need in order to help guide us on the path. So you've got to share that and make that invisible, hidden gem visible. If you're a manifester, then a huge part of your gift, I mean, your aura is closed and repelling. I won't get into all of the details of aura mechanics because that's a whole thing. That's a whole class that I just taught in my human design certification, actually. But manifestors, one of your gifts is disruption. And so you're really here to disrupt things. You're here to break the rules. You're here to look at something, whatever that area is that you love, like that industry, that problem, that whatever it is, and you're here to disrupt it. So you've got to do that, and you've got to do it visibly so that we can see you, so that we can hear you, so that we can know whether you're the one that we'd like to follow on that adventure of disruption. And the people that are exactly for you are going to get behind you and they're going to be so ready to disrupt with you. They want to help you. They want to be like, yes, like Joan of Arc with that sword, like we're following you, girl. Like, yes. But if you don't, then we don't know. And then people don't know if they need to get on board with what you're doing or get out of the way. And so if you don't inform us, if you don't show us, if you don't tell us what you are disrupting, we can't help you out. So that's a really, really important one for manifestors. MG generators. Ooh, amazing. Oh, we've got a lot of manifestor energy in here. Fabulous. Projector. Yes. Okay, yeah, Donata, you've got to look up your chart. Let me know. I need this part on repeat. Yes. Yes. Just take a little audio of that bit and just listen to it every morning as a like disrupt, disrupt. Okay. So then let's talk about generators. So generators, you are here to create and like be creative and be passionate about what you're creating. And so sometimes they use the word builder. I don't love that word. I don't think that tells us the full picture of what generators are here to do. It's creativity. It's like there's this real artist side of generators that needs to be brought out. And so if you are a generator, then you are here to be the artist and to create something that you love, whatever that is. Often generators not only want to create, they also like to go a bit deep with it. They like to become what we call like masters. They love mastery. And so there's this sense of like, not only am I creating something, I'm becoming such a master at creating that thing. That it just satisfies me and fills me up and fulfills me in so many different ways. So with generators, the challenge here is to be more selfish. So because Generators, if you listen to the podcast I dropped yesterday, they do have a hero complex. They want to save everyone. But this aura is like open and welcoming. And it's all about like, come into my space. But we only want to come into your space, whether that be your business or your career or whatever, your team. We only want to come into your space if you are lit up, if you are just sparkling with joy, fulfillment, satisfaction. If you're not, if you're bitter and frustrated and like just, kind of create, like forced to create for someone else, then we don't want to be in that space because you don't want to be in that space. Oh, don't do that. So just focus on the things that you love and start seeing yourself not only as a CEO of your own life, but as a true artist. Manifesting generators, you are a hybrid. Okay, so you are an absolute hybrid of manifester and generator. I would say 90% generator, 10% manifester. So for you, I like to call you the bold experiencers. You're really here to try a lot of things and experience a lot of things in life. It's like very Sagittarius energy, like, ooh, like if you know what that means, like I just want to go have an adventure. I want to try things. And once I'm done with that, and maybe I didn't even finish it, but I'm halfway done, but I'm done. Okay, so now over to the other thing, right? We have also the same aura type as the generator. It's open and welcoming. It's this big, big, shiny energy. And when we're lit up and we're having adventures and we've got this variety and we're moving fast and we're getting ideas and we're making them happen the next day, like that is our sweet spot. And so that means that people are going to, similar to a manifestor, get excited to get on board with our ideas, with our crazy harebrained schemes. They're going to be like, yes, 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 let's go. I'm saying our because I am a manifesting generator. When I get an idea for something, sometimes I just share it. Like this masterclass, I had the idea last week. I was like, okay, I just need to like, boom, create a quick page and then I'll create a quick sign up and then we'll just do it. And, I don't need 2 months, 3 months to promote things, right? That's just not how I work. It's like when you feel the energy, you got to go for it. And so with manifesting generators, they have to learn to trust themselves. This is a big one. You've got to learn to trust your own passion meter. And when you're done with an experience, you need to recognize that you are done. And when there's an experience that you want to see to the end, you have to figure out how you're going to see it through. So there's a whole mechanic around this, which is really powerful. Are you sacral? Oh, I am emotional authority. Yes, I'm emotional authority. So for me, it's something that slows me down as a manifesting generator. Manifesting generators normally are very fast moving, which I am as well. But if there's a big decision I need to make, I let it flow. I let it unfold. Sometimes decisions can take years. You just got to let it unfold. That's for all my emotional authorities out there. Okay. So what have we missed? Reflectors, right? We did all the other ones. Yes, reflectors. Okay, so reflectors are the oracles. They are so magical, so unique. And for them, it's all about well, their aura is all about sampling. So for them, it's all about finding what surprises and delights them in life. They are here similar to manifesting generators in some ways to experience things, but they need to ruthlessly curate those experiences. They need to be very clear, like, I tried that, not for me. No. Boundaries are really key so that they can truly access the intuition, which is their zone of genius. Deep intuition, understanding of what's good for us and what's not good for us, what's healthy for us and what's not healthy for us. So if you're a reflector and you are in a service-based business, right, you have to be very careful about what clients you work with, very careful about what services you do and your boundaries around them so that the magic can come through, so that you're not a leaky cauldron, as I said in my podcast. Okay. So profile lines, the profile lines are let me hold on, I'm just gonna need some. So the profile lines are a huge, huge, huge gem. So I really want to talk about these briefly. Sun gates, I'm clearly not going to be able to go through all 64 sun gates, so I'll just say a quick word on those. But profile lines are a massive gem in your human design that you need to be tapping into. And I want to talk about the difference between the conscious and the subconscious profile line really quickly, because this is a huge part of your brand. You know, when we talked about astrology gems, I talked about the midheaven there, right? The midheaven is the primary brand. When it comes to human design, your primary brand, I would say, is very much embodied by your profile line combination. It's a multiple things, right? Of course, it's the sun gate, the culture gene key, the pearl, the aura type. Like it's a lot of things, but I would really look at your profile lines for your branding and understanding how you deliver what you deliver. Your profile lines are going to tell you, if you're a coach, what kind of coach am I? If you're a teacher, the profile lines tell you what kind of teacher you are. If you're a politician, what kind of politician, what kind of activist, what kind of parent, it's going to tell you, this is how I take action. This is how I deliver the work. And so because of that, you can tell it's like incredibly, incredibly powerful. Yes, put your profile lines in the chat. Okay. So with profile lines, I'm going to go through really quickly. I'm going to give you one gem for each one. First line, one of your gems is in helping people get to the bottom of things. Second line, one of your gems is in showing people how you do things as the weird, wacky, wonderful individual that you are. You got to reverse engineer it. Third line, one of your gems is telling people about the mistakes that you made and how you got back up and how you figured out how to do things smarter, right? That's a big one. That is a big one. Fourth line, one of your gems is in working with a specific group of people. There is a specific group of people, and relationships are one of your zones of genius. Fifth lines, you are a problem solver and someone who is so good at simplifying things for people. You simplify things and help us find solutions. Sixth lines, you are a role model, but one of your gems is really in helping people refine things. You're not here to hold everyone's hand. You're here to help them refine things. So take something from a rough diamond and you're going to help them polish it up. That's what six lines are very, very good at doing. Okay, so just a little gem for each one that I hope gave you a few ideas, a few insights, a few kind of things to start bringing out more in your work. I love it. We have an amazing array of profile lines here. 5-1, 6-3, 3-5, 5-1, 6-2, 6-2, 6-3, 4-2, 4-2. You mean 2-4, I think, and 1-3. Amazing. Oh, hold on just a moment. All right, so where were we? We were talking about profile lines. I think I went through every single one. This is, like I said, a major part of your brand. So you really do want to use profile lines in the way that you deliver your work. So when you're creating a signature offer, right? When you're thinking about your marketing, when you're thinking about how do I work with my clients, what type of service do I provide? Profile lines are the one. And then sun gates. So I'll make a quick note on sun gates. So with sun gates, you definitely want to pay attention to the conscious sun for your brand. And the unconscious sun is really about the motivation inside of your brand. So it's kind of like it can be part of your brand, but it's really more for you. So you want to be paying attention to what the gate means for the conscious sun and the unconscious sun. So those are also key gems, which really reveal so much about you and who you are. I'll give you a quick example here. So I have my conscious sun is 50 and my unconscious sun is 56. So yes, I am right angle cross of laws if you clocked that one. So I struggled for a long time to understand like what this meant for me. And I read about the gene keys and I read about gate 50 online and I was trying to, work it out. But when I did my year-long study with Jess and I really got deep and advanced into the system of human design, I finally understood what it was about. So, gate 50 is the gate of values. It's right here. in the spleen, and it's part of the defense circuit. It's all about how can I protect and defend my community using values. And so, how can I protect values? How can I defend values? And what values need to be burned to the ground versus what values need to stay? That's me to a T. I am a Libra. I am a Libra. That is me to a T. And the things that get me most riled up in life are when I see people not in integrity or when I see people trampling on values that I hold dear, such as freedom. Freedom. Freedom is one of my core values. When I see people telling other people, you can't be like that, or you can't dress that way, or you can't act that way, or you can't love that person, ooh, gets me riled up because freedom is one of my core values. And so I knew that like when I created Cosmic Queen, my business, everything I do, I needed to tell people my values. I can't be a vanilla brand. It's not in my DNA. It's not who I came here to be. I have to be really clear with where I stand. And that can mean politically, right? And that can mean socially, culturally, morally, all these things. But it's something that I had to learn and I had to become more comfortable with. So when you start researching and understanding your sun gates, it's going to like open up all these things about you that you may not have even realized. A lot of times we will have very deep emotional, visceral reactions to our sun gates, to when our sun gate is off or out of alignment, we know it. And when we're on and when it's in alignment, we are, we are just, we are the gem. We are there. The treasure has been found. So definitely study this. Conscious is personality. Yes, yes. So this side, the right side is the conscious part of your human design, and the left side is the unconscious part or the design part. Sorry, yeah, if that wasn't clear. Thanks for answering in the chat. Okay, so here we are, gems in your human design. Now, what I want to talk about next is why are these gems hidden? So, you're like, wow, this is great. Okay, so this is so helpful. I understand and I can see these parts of myself coming together here. I can see my personality. I can see my gifts. I can see the way that I do things. I can see the things that I'm good at. But then they are hidden, right? Until we decide to show them, until we decide to bring them out. Why is it that those gems are hidden? And so the meaning, the title of this masterclass has a double meaning. The hidden gems are there because, we have been conditioned to be someone else, and we have to uncover those gems in order to be ourselves and to be authentic and to know ourselves. But then there's the other part of that formula, if you remember. There's the love ourselves and there's the be ourselves. And the last thing that I wish for you is to be a hidden gem. The last thing I wish for you is to be the world's best kept secret, to be your industry's best kept secret. That is the last thing that I wish. The thing that I wish is for you to be visible, for you to be seen, for you to be appreciated, for you to be recognized, for you to have your work and your genius meet and find the exact people who need it. So I dug out these photos. It was so interesting. Like my journey with this has been really really quite a deep one. This journey of identity, this journey of confidence. So I pulled out these photos and like, oh, I just want to give her a little squeeze. This is me back in 2019. I think I got these photos. No, it would have been, yeah, 2019, 2020, somewhere in there. I was pregnant, so you can't exactly tell here, but I was pregnant with my little boy who you just met earlier. Um, and I knew that I wanted to go full time in my business. At this point, I was still working for the man. I was still in my corporate job at a management consulting company in tech here in London. And I was like, okay, I am so ready. Now that I have this baby growing inside me. Like it's now or never. The timeline has been moved forwards. Like we are doing this. And I don't want to have a baby and be working in corporate anymore. I knew that it wasn't congruent with who I was. Now that I was starting to understand my astrology, my human design, I was studying it then. I was like, ooh, it's not matching up. It's not aligning anymore, right? Once we know ourselves, it's like, here's how I think of it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it anymore. And so I saw these things in myself about how I like to move fast, about how I'm here to disrupt and be highly creative as a manifesting generator. I saw my 2-5 and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm here to like be this like, kind of individual and share my genius, but I'm also here to solve problems. I thought about, my Sagittarius midheaven and I'm like, I want to have adventures and I want to go explore things and then I want to come back and teach them. And I thought about my Pisces rising, and I was like, I want to have deep, meaningful relationships with my work and with my people. And I recognized that none of that could happen if I stayed where I was. And so I'm very proud of that person. Just like I want you all to be so proud of yourselves for like doing this journey and for like diving deep into identity because it's such a deep thing and it's such a courageous thing to do to start asking those tough questions of like, who am I and what am I here to do? And so when I did this photo shoot, I like, I remember feeling very overwhelmed because photo shoots do that, right? Shout out to anyone. Has anyone done like a photo shoot here? Drop in the chat if you've done these like professional photo shoots and just felt very nervous about it. And that was me. I was like shaking in my boots. I had no idea what to wear. Like my hair, I was like, I'll just put it up. I don't know. Like it's not working. I'm pregnant. I can't anymore. And it was a whole mess. And I was just thinking to myself, God, like, yeah, so uncomfortable. It's because we are actively choosing to be seen. So, like with photo shoots, like you cannot hide. Like if you're speaking at an event, that's different, right? Like people will forget about you. You'll be on stage for 10 minutes, then that's it. A photo shoot feels like it's forever. It feels like you're choosing an identity, a costume, some drag that is like, yes, this is me for the next like 6 months to a year. And so it feels like a lot of pressure, right? And I've noticed that, through my kind of evolution as an entrepreneur, which is the biggest walk of fire that you can do around identity, let me tell you, and a lot of you here are entrepreneurs, you already know, right? It has been such a journey and you can see it through the photos. So if you want any bit of homework from this masterclass, I would suggest if you are a business owner or an aspiring entrepreneur, book yourself a photo shoot or start to plan a photo shoot, even if you don't book it yet. Get that Pinterest board out, right? Pinterest is our best friend, okay? Get that Pinterest board out and start thinking about like, well, how would I present myself? Because it's great knowing all this information about astrology and human design. It's great having the conceptual knowledge and the information. But then we got to do the next two parts of the formula. We got to love ourselves and then we got to be ourselves. And so the love comes first. The love comes first, which is yes, I deserve to be seen. Yes, I deserve all the things that I want. Yes, I have goals and I deserve to have them and I deserve to achieve them, right? The worthiness is so, so big. Yes, Michelle. Next masterclass, photo shoot aesthetic by Midheaven. Yeah, that's going to be. Oh, that's coming. I'm doing retreats, by the way. So I'm planning some really exciting retreats coming soon, and we're gonna have photo shoots are going to be a central part of it. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so good. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing in the chat. I love hearing your stories. I wanted to do one for a while. Yeah. It's a big one. Just start planning it, right? And things will start falling into place as you start planning it. But I mean, I was sort of happy with these photos. Like I'm showing these because I want to show the evolution in the next couple of slides. I I was so proud of myself for going out there and doing this and booking it and paying for it and all the things. But I also felt like I outgrew these photos really quickly because I was like, okay, I am bubbly and happy and all the things, but I'm also like a baddie Sagittarius midheaven. So like how can I bring more of my authentic self out? And it is still an evolution. I've still got some really exciting things planned. There are levels and levels and levels and levels. And so as you start to know yourself and mine these treasures, you get down, 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 down to the levels of understanding who you are. So two photo shoots later, I get this photo. And I feel like you can just feel the evolution, right? You can feel the difference. Like this was like feeling more comfortable in my body. This was being like, hell yeah, I'm going to put on a shiny dress and a crown. This was, I'm a bit dramatic and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. And I want people to see that. This is I'm a theater kid and I love to be in character. This is, I have something expressive to say and I'm ready to say it, right? The evolution is so, so, so real. Iconic. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much. Thank you. It was so fun. So, so fun to do this photo shoot with an incredible photographer. By the way, anyone who's in Spain or in Europe, I highly recommend this photographer. Um, I met her at when I was the astrologer at the Mandrake Hotel here in London, and she's done two photo shoots with me, this one and the next one that I'll show. But let me tell you, this photo shoot and like being brave, because this was really brave for me to do a full body shot, to like, have like the accessories, like to be dramatic, and fun and just have such a great time to express myself and to bring in the queen energy. Like, let me tell you, this shoot, so many people have referenced this shoot to me as being what caught their eye and what made them decide to work with me. Maybe some of you on this call actually as well. If I think I've seen a couple of names on this call. It is so incredible that, oh, Lindsay messaged me about that. It is so incredible that how much comes through visually. And so in your business, once you know yourself and you love yourself, you don't mind showing yourself and you're ready to be seen because no, sticks and stones. Like if someone doesn't like it, they think it's weird, like whatever, like it doesn't matter. I like it. I love it, and that's what it's about. So book yourself a photo shoot. Start thinking about how would I express myself if I did not give a hoot what anyone else thinks, right? How would I express myself? How would I bring that power out? The next photo shoot I did with the same photographer was this one. And it's a little blurry because I blew it up really big. But this one, again, another level of like confidence, being seen, like post baby. I was like, okay, let's go do this. Let's bring some sensuality and let's like, amp it up. And I just love it. And you've seen a lot of these photos on my social media and everything. It's levels, right? It's levels, levels, levels of this confidence in yourself, of loving yourself, of being like, yeah, I'm so, so freaking ready to be seen. The hidden gems don't need to be hidden anymore. Once you're ready, you're ready. And you know what I recommend to you is back when I was doing this, I didn't feel ready, but I was ready. Sometimes you got to push yourself. Sometimes you got to be like, okay, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I feel ready. Maybe I need to change this, this, and this about me. No, you are ready. And sometimes you got to push yourself a bit so that you can say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I'm not ready, but I'm ready. I'm not ready, but I'm ready. I'm gonna get there, right? So I see you, Queen. I know. I see you too. I love it. Okay, so now it's your turn. Now it's time to think about how you're going to bring these things together in your business, in your work. It is such a powerful thing to know, to love, and then to be yourself. Because once you do the first two, then you can take the action. Then you can be like, okay, let's go. Then this is where you start pitching people, right? This is where you start. I've got an article coming out very soon, which I'm so excited about. I met with someone that I know, that I've known for many years, since before those earlier photos, who recommended me and gave me a bunch of contacts in PR. So she owns her own PR agency. And she was talking about, yeah, you just gotta like go for it, right? And sometimes like we look around and we think, well, how did they get that, magazine article? And how did they get that column? And how did they, have that spot on Good Morning America? How does it happen? It happens because you want it to happen and you move accordingly because you know you're ready now. Even if you're not ready, you're ready, right? This is the mantra. I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm ready. It happens because you're ready and because you decide. I decided this year that I was ready for Cosmic Queen to be seen at a much bigger level and a much bigger scale. This is where the energetics and the mindset work comes in, right? I decided and I was like, you know what? The things that I'm worried about happening, my worst fears, I'm no longer afraid of. I had a really tough time in my business last year because I made some big investments, a big decision, and then I couldn't hold it. I had my best month ever, and then I was like, oh, well, that's a fluke. That's not going to happen again. And I had this like weird spiral of confidence that happened. But I knew through it all that this was happening for a reason so that I could come back, so I could do this masterclass, so I could share with you about the fact that there is this journey of ups and downs. But as long as you are truly committed to the journey, to the vision, to loving yourself through it, you will get through it. You will. Now, this year, I've started reaching out. I've got an article coming out very soon, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait to share it with you all in Women's Health magazine. Oh my God, it's going to be so good. You heard it here first. I'm on my journey to being in Vogue. It's going to happen very soon. And I'm now creating an incredible retreat in Bali. I'm looking for an agent right now for a very special project. If you get my little drift, that I'm working on right now. I've been doing more collaborations than ever before. Suddenly, my energy has opened up, and so many of my friends who've been on this journey with me, maybe some of you in this group as well, you can tell, right? You can tell because I decided. So once you have that knowledge. And once you're able to love yourself fully, more than anyone else can ever say anything about you, that love is never changing, right? And then you're ready to make that decision. It is your turn. You've got the cosmic cutting edge. So it's just about fueling up the rocket ship and getting out there, right? It is your absolute time. Let's ride this energy of this eclipse. The reason I wanted to do this masterclass now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Rising Star Business Academy, but the reason I'm starting it all now is because it's Libra season. We are in the last quarter of the year. I like to refer to it as the quantum quarter. We are in the last cardinal sign as we move into the last 3 months of the year. It's so exciting. Like Libra is this cardinal energy that wants to bring balance and harmony, but it realizes that some things have got to go in order to make that happen. It's a sign of deep alignment. And so with this eclipse that just happened yesterday, with all of the like big energy in the air, I just encourage you to take time, maybe after this masterclass or in the next couple of days, to sit down and set some intentions. Sit down and plant those seeds. It's not about manifesting necessarily with the eclipse, but I want you to create these intentions. They're going to carry you through the rest of the year. These intentions of coming into alignment, of bringing that harmony back into your life, into your career, into your work. There's probably something that's a little off. There's probably something that is not fully aligned, and you're not going to fix it all in one day. It doesn't need to be next week, like, oh, I'm just going to quit my job. No, no. You're bringing things powerfully with intention back into alignment. And I encourage you to plant those seeds and start that Pinterest board and do those things the rest of this week. Remember this formula. Screenshot it if you want to. Remember it. Put it on your bathroom mirror in lipstick. Know yourself, love yourself, be yourself. You got this. So, I want to talk a little bit about the Rising Star Business Academy. If you would like to stay with me for this, or if you're just curious or just interested, what's she up to, what's happening? I'm also going to talk about the design and the star, which is my human design program and my astrology program as well. You are completely welcome to stay. Thank you, everyone, so much. This has been such a joy. We've had such an amazing group. The chat has been popping. Let me know if you're staying or before you go. What was your biggest gem of today? What was the biggest kind of realization, the biggest thing that for you was like, hell yeah, like that resonated with me. That really hit. That really, really did it. I would love to know. Also, I am going to share some links and information for you as well. Let me just grab those and I'll put them in the chat for you. Here we go. Yes, thank you so much. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. I love it. Okay, so I just put some links in the chat if you want links to this information or if you've got to go or whatever that I'm about to share here. There's some sales pages. Okay, Rising Star Business Academy. This is my pride and joy. This is a year-long minimum container. It's likely going to go longer than a year because this is something that I'm creating. I'm going to keep adding to it and keep developing as it goes along. This is where you're going to develop your business using your astrology and human design. So the gems that we talked about today, we are using them in the Rising Star Business Academy. I am so excited about this. It starts in 1 week. So if you are interested in jumping into this, please do. There are going to be 16 live modules, and we're going to be talking about these 5 aspects. So we're talking about vision and values. By the way, I'm sharing very special bonuses here just for the people who are in this masterclass. So you wanna, if you're interested in these, make sure you know the bonuses. So 5 parts of the program. We're talking about vision and values. As you start and create your business, it's incredibly important that your vision is clear and that your values align with your astrology and your human design and just with who you are, right? We cannot head out on this adventure without having a map. So we've got to have the map there. And the way I do goal setting is very unique. It's going to be really powerful. Then we get on to bold branding. So bold branding is one of I mean I hesitate to choose favorites, but I do love the bold branding because this is where we bring in the midheaven archetypes. And this is where you're going to understand how to develop not only a visual and aesthetic brand, which screams you, but also your core messaging. This is going to be really, really important. Then we get into community and content. Who is your target audience? Who are your people? Who are you specifically here to serve? And how can you make sure that you're speaking directly to them? In all of these modules we're doing together, there's 16 modules across all of these 5 segments. We're going to be diving deep. We're going to have cheat sheets, worksheets. We're going to do live teaching, and we're going to have plenty of time for Q&A as well in the community as well. Um, as we go into community and content, this is the biggest chunk. This is the biggest chunk because creating community around your work, this is how you create a sustainable business. You've got to have people, new people coming in. You've got to have the right people in there, and you've got to have the content which nurtures people and helps them to understand how you can serve them and what you do, right? It's got to be high value. I have built a business off of community and content and bold branding. So I can help you to bring this out for yourself. It's not about you doing it the way I do, the way someone else does. It's about figuring out what is your strategy and your way. And everything's going to be so tailored in this program. Then we get into gifts into gold. Some of you may have taken my free masterclass, which you can still sign up for if you'd like to. It's in the link in my Instagram bio. Gifts into gold is your signature offer. This is one of my zones of genius, is helping people to develop signature offers. I am very, very good at this. So your signature offer, you need to have one. It's not enough to say like, oh, I do all these like different things. There needs to be something that you become known for, something that people know is like your thing. And it's like the point of the spear for like everything else that you do. Having a signature offer makes it easier to talk about your work, makes it easier to sell in a way that feels authentic and doesn't feel smarmy, in a way that showcases your hidden gems, of course. And then the fifth section is the energetics. This is the elevated entrepreneur. We're going to be talking about productivity, okay? Your human design environment. Where are you working? How productive are you? Are you burning yourself out? What is your ideal schedule based on your cosmic blueprint? We're getting into all of that as well as confidence development, all of this stuff to really elevate you as an entrepreneur. So these 16 live modules. Oh, thank you so much, Susanna. She said, I love the way you teach. I would listen to you for hours. Oh, you're amazing. Thank you. Yes, huge validation for my new community. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. These revelations. Thank you, Michelle. Yes, yes, exactly. Okay, so these 16 live modules are all happening over the next 2 months. So it's like an intensive crucible of work. We are going to do all of the figuring out together in the next 2 months. Daunting? No, it's happening. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be amazing. Then after that 2 months, we then go into implementation. But I'm not just leaving you to do it yourself. I'm going to support you along the way. So you're getting 12 months of monthly group coaching calls, and we're going to have a community as well where you can put questions and get support. So there's going to be a lot of support. I really wanted to create like a proper business academy where you get help in the implementation also, because it's not enough to say, oh, I had this great idea, this great plan, but it's when you actually start doing it that all the stuff starts coming up, right? And the challenges and like, okay, but how do I figure out how to do content, or how do I figure out how to do this? So you're going to get support along the way. You're also going to get 6 months inside of the Constellation community, which is my incredible membership. And there are a ton of courses in there. There's a beautiful vault. There's meditations, and we also meet monthly. And there's also group coaching in that group as well. So there's a lot. Like, I feel like I almost can't even list everything that's included in the Rising Star Business Academy. We do start next week on Thursday. And this is the link to go and check it out. There's a video where I describe more about how this works, who this is for. The concept is that once you're in, you're in. And so as for the life of this program, you're going to continue to get the monthly coaching support and all of these things. But once you're in, and you get a guaranteed 12 months. So if you're like, this is my quantum quarter, I'm ready to go, Rachel, like, let's freaking do this thing. I would love to support you. And I'm offering a special bonus. So I'm going to offer you a bonus of a one-to-one Voxer coaching day with me. Let me tell you, 8 to 9 hours with me, one-to-one on Voxer, we are making magic. There is so much. I have so many clients when they get into Voxer, they're like, oh my God, like your Voxer is on fire. I was like, I know. Like we talk. It's like having me in your pocket, back and forth. We problem solve. I listen. I share some insights of what I see, and we do the things. So if you would like some additional one-to-one support as part of the Rising Star Business Academy, then do sign up by Monday. So by Monday, the 7th of October, Monday midnight, and then you'll be in to join us for Thursday. I'm so, so excited. I would love for all of you to join. The last things, I'm not going to spend as much time sharing these, but you can go to these links, and there's a couple of bonuses for these as well. So if you want to learn astrology with me, I have my beautiful signature course, The Star. So this is not live, but there are live elements. So there are 14 modules, and you can go through them at your own pace. There's quizzes, there's worksheets. I'm a big fan. I'm a Sagittarius midheaven, so I love teaching. So there's quizzes, there's worksheets, there's all these things. There's videos, obviously. But then you also every quarter, so 4 times a year, you get a live Q&A with me. And when you sign up, you get 1 year of alumni access. So we have a Telegram group. You can ask questions. I do office hours all the time. You can communicate and chat and connect with the other people who are in the Star, and it's really lovely. So if you also want a certification, there's a certification option, which includes 3 additional modules. So here's the bonus. If you join by Monday, everything is by Monday. If you join by Monday, you do get a 30-minute tarot reading with me. And I love the cards. The cards love to read us, and I love to read the cards. So if you would like to get that bonus, then sign up by Monday. Last but not least, there is the design. So this is not starting until next year. We are currently halfway, I think we're a little more than halfway through the current course of the design. Shout out to everyone who is in that. It's so exciting. We are learning so much, diving deep into human design. This is a foundation course. So you can go and see everything that we cover. You can see, I think the sales page is still up, but there's a wait list. So this is the link for the wait list. You can also go to my website to see the sales page to see like the modules and what's up, but you can't join yet. So this is going to be happening next year. So if you want to be on the wait list, make sure you sign up for that. Oh yeah, no worries, Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining. That is everything, you all. I wanted to share those 3 ways to work with me: the star, the design, the Rising Star Business Academy. If you're interested in doing one-to-one, of course, let me know as well. It was such a joy to be with you. Thank you to everyone who has stayed until the end. I had such a good time here. Thank you for sharing the love of astrology, the love of human design with me. It is always a pleasure. Yes. Oh, thank you, Michelle. This has been fire. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you so much. Oh, you all are amazing. This was amazing. Oh, I love you all. This was so much fun. So I'm going to put the replay. Do not worry. The replay will be there for the foreseeable. I'm going to put it into the Facebook group. If you don't have Facebook, message me and I will send you a link. And yeah, I hope that you all got a lot out of this and enjoy diving deeper into your hidden gems. If you want to message me as well, like I'm going to go back and check the chat and see what was the big thing. What was the thing that kind of you got most out of today? If you want to message me as well, I would love to know it. I'm a manifesting generator, so I'm always inspired by hearing from you. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. I will see you all later. Give yourself a big hug after this eclipse. I'm going to go give my little boy a big hug. He's like, "Where's mommy?" And I'll see you later. Bye.